Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla. Today we are doing an embroidery Q&A. I have been meaning to film this video for a while now. I did a like a question and answers box on my Instagram like, I don't know, like 2 months ago. And I've had all the questions written. I just haven't had time to sit down and actually film the video. It's been like 9 months since my last Q&A, so we're definitely overdue for one. I've got about 15 questions that you guys have asked me either on Instagram or in comments or on Facebook, different things like that. So I've kind of compiled a whole list and we're going to answer them here. But before we get started, if you could hit that subscribe button down below, I would greatly appreciate it. I am almost to 10,000 subscribers and I have some really fun giveaways from a few big companies, and you guys aren't going to want to miss it. So the sooner we get to 10,000, the sooner we can do that giveaway, and hopefully you can win something. So make sure you click that button below, and let's get into our first question. So question number one, what was your first machine? My first embroidery machine was the Brother PE 800 single needle machine. I've got quite a few videos here on my channel. I actually still have it, and I actually have it listed on my local Facebook marketplace, because I just don't use it. I mean, every once in a while I'll find a use for it, but it's not enough to justify keeping it. Right now it's just a really big paperweight. So I am trying to sell it, but since they have discontinued the 800 and now have the 900, I'm wondering if that's why it's not selling, because I've had it listed for, I don't know, a few months now. But yeah, if I can't sell that, then I'll just keep it, and I don't know, maybe I'll teach my kids how to use it or something. But Brother P800 was my first embroidery machine. Number two, best place to buy business supplies. Now, this is kind of a vague question because there's so many different types of business supplies. If we're talking about embroidery supplies, I buy a lot on Amazon, but I also buy a lot from allstitch.com. That's where I buy like my stabilizers, my oil, my needles. If you do those, like if you do kids stuff, that's where they sell those embroidery buddies and stuff like that. And I actually have an All Stitch link down below, easy to click on. So go ahead and click on that if you need those kind of supplies. If you're talking about like organizational supplies or, you know, like that side of business, Amazon. Yeah, so I guess it would just depend on what kind of business supplies you're talking about. But I assume it's embroidery supplies. So yeah, mostly just Amazon and All Stitch is where I get most of my stuff. Do you do one-on-one training? No, I do not, because it terrifies me that somebody is going to ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, and I'm going to be wasting your time. So I know that's probably something I have to get over, but I'm just being honest. That's why I do not offer it. And it's also hard because, you know, my kids are home, and so scheduling something like that, if they needed something, I, you know, again, would feel like I'm wasting your time. So it's just not something that I feel like I can offer right now. It's definitely something I want to offer in the future. I'm just not there yet, and I don't know what that would look like with my schedule and my home life and things like that. So it's something I need to figure out. But I mean, if enough people are interested in it, then that's going to motivate me sooner to figure it out. But as of right now, no, I do not. But you're more than welcome to comment on my videos. I have a few people that email me and ask me questions. Now, I can't, you know, sit here and go back and forth nonstop with people, but I, you know, can answer a lot of your questions that way too. Question number 4, am I going to Deco Summit this year? Yes, I am, and I am so excited. It's in August this year. I didn't get to go last year, but the year before it was in October, and it rained so bad, and I'm really excited to go in August. I know it's gonna be hot. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not sure if I'm on another Q&A panel yet or not. Rakoma hasn't gotten back to me on that, but I am definitely going. I am going to be filming. I am going to be doing like the influencer meet and greet and stuff. I just don't know if I'm going to be on any sort of Q&A panel. But if you are going, leave me a comment down below and let me know so that we can meet up. I would love to meet you guys. I met so many of you last time that I went. And when I went to Deco Summit back in, what was that, 2022, I was like an absolute nobody. I had like, I think somewhere around 2,000 subscribers, I think. And you know, obviously I'm almost to 10,000 now, so my platform's, you know, a lot bigger than the last time I went. I'm more comfortable. I had never flown across the country before. I was so shy. I was so scared, but I met so many amazing people, and now I'm just like, I'm so stinking excited to go back. So if you are going, let me know. If you want to go, you can click the Deco Summit link down below. It's not an affiliate link or anything. It just takes you to their website. I do know that early bird pricing is ending in like 9 days, I think, as of the day that I'm filming this. So if you want to go, you want to make sure you get in on that early bird ticket. So check out that link below if you are interested in going, and hopefully I will see you there. Question number 5, have you done any of those advertising magazines you talked about? So what this person's asking about is, I did a video a while ago about, I think it was like 10 ways to advertise in your local town, and a few of those were like local advertising magazines. My area has quite a few of those. I sent in emails, and 2 of the magazines I just flat out never heard back from, so I guess, I mean, I don't really know what to do with that. But one of them did get back to me, and I had like a almost 2-hour long Zoom call with them about how they advertise, what, you know, why they advertise, where, their target markets, different things like that. And we had a really, really great conversation, but it was greatly out of my budget. It was like $500 something a month for 6 months. You could do like 6 months or 12 months. It was obviously cheaper to do the 12 months. You know, you got a little bit off of that 500 whatever a month that it was, but that's still way out of my budget right now. I'm still growing my business. I'm, you know, still trying to advertise on my own and freely wherever I can. And so that's just flat out not in my budget right now. And I told him that, I was honest, and it is hopefully something I'll be able to do one day, because he gave me some amazing statistics and you know, return on investments from people that have used this advertising service, and it definitely would be worth it, but it's something that's a little too scary for me to jump into right now. And so yeah, so I'm just sticking with like the free advertising right now. So we're gonna see where that goes, but maybe there's something in your local community that's way cheaper, you know, a little bit more affordable, a little bit less scary than $500 something a month. So yeah, so you'll just have to check out your local area and see. But as of right now, most of my work is just from word of mouth. You know, I do a lot of like lawn care companies, construction companies, things like that. And I'm actually getting a lot more work from Reno, which is an hour away from me, which is interesting. And they're telling their friends. And so I've got a few inquiries in right now, but yeah, most of my stuff comes from word of mouth actually. So yeah. Next question, how do you homeschool and run your business at home? This is a pretty loaded question, because there's some days where I'm just running around with my head cut off and have no idea what's happening or what to do next. And that's just how it goes sometimes. But one reason I absolutely love homeschooling, among the million reasons I love homeschooling, is the flexibility. I'm in a state that doesn't have super strict homeschool laws, so it's not like we have to, you know, do school for a certain amount of hours a day or do testing or anything like that. We're very flexible in what we can do. And so it changes. And I have absolute non-negotiables. Homeschooling is non-negotiable. It's gonna get done one way or another. My home is non-negotiable. It's gonna get done one way or another. My husband is non-negotiable. You know, our relationship is not gonna fall off the back burner. And, you know, all these things are gonna be sacrificed on the altar of business. That's not how I run my home. That's not who I am. My business has to fall in line behind those. And I know there's going to be a lot of business coaches and business owners and things that say like, well, no, you should be sacrificing things for your business. Those are things I am not going to sacrifice for my business. My business, my lead times, my turnaround times, that all has to fall in behind my family and, you know, how I steward my children, how I homeschool, things like that. And then the business comes next. So I hope that makes sense. But so what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to push those things off just to grow my business. My business can be as big or as small as I want it to be. My turnaround times can be what I want them to be. So if I tell somebody that I have a 10 to 14 day turnaround time, I know how much I can get done every day in that turnaround time behind all of these other things. You know, and that doesn't mean all of those things come first in the day necessarily. Part of the great thing with homeschooling And being flexible is we could homeschool in the afternoon or at nighttime or anything like that. Right now we're in summer. My house doesn't have air conditioning, so we leave all the windows open at night and then close them first thing in the morning. And we have like portable air conditioners, one in the living room, one in my office, and create like a cross AC, I guess you could say. But if I have to heat press shirts, I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna do them while it's still cool so that my heat press isn't running in the afternoon. So I'll work in the morning and then we'll do school in the afternoon. So it's just all about adjusting, but never taking away from the non-negotiables. So I hope that makes sense. I know that was kind of a long-winded answer, but how I do it is just by managing my time well, knowing what I will and will not negotiate on, knowing what I will and will not let fall off of my plate. And if my turnaround time has to be longer on an order, then that's what I'll do. And my customer's either okay with it when they sign the contract or they'll go somewhere else. And that's totally fine, because this business is not gonna get in the way of what's most important in my life. And obviously that's gonna look different for everybody, but for me, those are my non-negotiables, and my business comes second. So I hope that makes sense. Are you still happy you left Etsy? Very much so. I do not miss Etsy one bit. I have seen so many videos and posts and comments and everything of people just talking about, well, Etsy shut this down, or Etsy did this, or Etsy did that, or Etsy took this, or Etsy sided with the customer and this is what happened. And I do not miss it at all. They keep raising their fees. There is such an oversaturated market. Now, don't get me wrong, there's ways to beat that, but I don't have time for that. I don't have time to sit here and play the game. I love doing, you know, B2B, business to business. I love doing custom logos for people, embroidering their logos on their stuff, not have to worry about what's trending and doing proper marketing or anything like that just to be able to stand out of a crowd. I just want people to know that, hey, this is a quality place. They put out top-notch quality work. Customer service is awesome, and they're gonna get me apparel for my business that's gonna make me stand out. So I just absolutely love not having to do the whole Etsy race of standing out with the same exact product as 20 million other shops. I love it. I love doing business to business apparel. What is your least favorite garment decorating method? I think this is a great question. I think probably just regular HTV vinyl would be my least favorite, just because I do not like sitting there weeding material. I think there's, you know, a time and a place for every method, but with things like DTF and, you know, places like Jiffy Shirts that will ship sometimes next day, I would rather spend a little bit more money on like a DTF print or something and then just press it than having to spend so much time weeding a design. I don't have time for that. Time equals money. I would rather pay a little bit more to save on time than use a cheaper material and spend more time. So I hope that makes sense, but I would say HTV just because I don't like weeding vinyl. Some people think it's really therapeutic, and I say more power to you. I don't have time for that. Why do you want to start screen printing? It's so messy. So yeah, I've shared on Instagram quite a few times, and I even think I mentioned it in my last couple videos, or one of my last videos. I've been using screen print transfers from Transfer Express, and I love them. I love the feel of them. I love the look. I love it so much more than DTF. They are a lot pricier though. I want to be a full service apparel shop. I want to do screen printing, embroidery. I want to offer everything in-house, and right now, you know, luckily I can do that by doing the screen print transfers. I can still advertise screen printing. It's still the same plastisol inks. It's just pricey, and rightfully so. It takes a lot, but I love the art of screen printing. I really want to get into it, and I get what this person's saying. It's messy. You know, people have the argument of it takes so much time to set up screens and burn screens and separate your artwork and things like that. But you are able to do so much on a big press, so much more than doing one shirt at a time. Because right now I can only do one shirt at a time. I, you know, lay it down, I pre-press it, I lay it down, I line up my design, you know, I hold it up, adjust, hold it up, adjust. Some shirts, oh my gosh, you guys, I just did a whole order of Gildan Soft Style shirts, and I swear they were all wonky, and it took forever to make sure each shirt was absolutely perfect, you know, and then press, take it off, you know, final press. You know, once you factor in all that time, I could have had all those shirts done in just a couple of hours, just doing it on a screen printing press. And it's starting to like drive me nuts, seeing how much I would be able to get done in a few hours on a press. I mean, people are able to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shirts on a manual press, whereas I'm like doing, you know, 40 shirts in like a several hour period, because it takes so long to line up the design, press it, take it off, do the next one, pre-press, line up, and it's getting really, really annoying. I'm, you know, really learning how valuable my time is, seeing how much I can get done in an hour, and maximizing that it's a game changer for a business. So there's many reasons I want to get into screen printing. That's one of them. I know it's messy, you know, but if you keep a clean shop, it won't be. And obviously I know that's a lot easier said than done, but it just takes discipline. It does. It just takes discipline to keep a clean shop. So yeah, there's many reasons I want to start screen printing, and hopefully that'll happen soon. Which leads to my next question. This person asked, what is your 5-year plan? That's a absolutely great question. I don't even know if I have a 5-day plan, honestly. But I should make a 5-year plan. I mean, I know like in the next year, there's a lot of things that I want to do. You know, I've been saying for a while, like, I can't wait to get out into my garage. I'm already outgrowing this room. I need this, I need that. You know, but it's just, everything takes money, right? And inflation right now is crazy. So a lot of things have been put on hold and are waiting. And I don't know, because there's so many other factors like in my personal life and things like that affect all of these decisions. And so it's kind of hard to say, but in 5 years, I would like to be, you know, full service screen print embroidery shop. I'd like to have a multi-head. I've said that for like 2 years now. I would like to be bringing in at least a couple orders a day, whereas right now I'm, you know, like 2 to 3 orders a week. So I would like to move that to daily. I would like to match my husband's income. I would like to maybe, you know, have a couple of employees, you know, so like I want to scale my business and I want to grow. So I guess that would be my 5-year plan, would be to massively scale my business. And I also have another business idea that I'm working on. I'm not going to share anything about it yet, because it's still like in the very beginning baby stages, where I'm coming up with a business plan and how I want it to look and my branding and everything. And that's very, very exciting for me. So I guess in 5 years, I would like that business to be massive also. And, you know, when you're thinking about what you want your business to be and coming up with that plan, you know, your dreaming can be so big, and you have to figure out like, okay, am I going to run this business for 30 years and then retire? Am I going to massively scale this business really, really fast so that I can sell it? You know, what do you want this business to be? And this other business, I think, is one that like I want to grow really, really fast, really, really big, and then sell it, and then keep my local custom embroidery business. But I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. I've already said too much. But yeah, so scaling this business, growing another one, having employees, being a full service shop, you know, and that also includes like banners and stickers and car decals and all those kinds of things. I actually have another piece of equipment coming soon, which is going to allow me to offer a lot more promotional items for my customers, but it's a secret and it's a surprise and I can't tell you. So yeah, so that's also going to help me scale and grow my business, but you're gonna have to wait. Do you require down payments on orders? Yeah, I require a full down payment. I require 100% payment, full upfront. I have never required a deposit. I have never required 25% down, 50% down. anything like that. I don't work on terms. I am a for-profit business and I'm here to make money. And if you can't pay for your stuff up front, then you're gonna have to go find somebody else, because I don't have time to sit here and hound you to pay your balance or worry about people not picking up their stuff, or, you know, coming back with whatever excuse as to why they can't pay the balance. I don't have time for that. You either have the money for your stuff or you can go somewhere else. So I have always said in the very, very, very first line of all of my invoices, Stitch NV requires payment in full before any ordering or processing begins. And then I have, you know, other stuff, and then it ends with, by paying this invoice, you agree to these terms and conditions. And that's that. And I've never had anybody question it or anything. It's just, you know, I've had people, you know, get their invoice and say things like, okay, well, can we take a few things off? It's a little higher than I thought it would be. And that's fine, you know, or people will say like, how can we make this, you know, within this budget? And I would come back and say, lower your quantity. You know, it's that simple. I'm a business. I'm here to make money. You have to have all of your money when you go buy furniture or groceries or anything like that. I'm not a financing company. I can't front you that money. You either have the money to pay for your stuff or you don't. So 100% payment up front, or you're gonna have to find somebody else. When did your business start to become profitable? I don't really know how to answer this question, because like, I do turn a profit on my orders. I have, you know, I mark everything up properly. I price everything accordingly, and I do have, you know, a little bit of capital in my business, but like I am still, you know, in debt on my machine and things like that. So, I mean, I guess I don't know if it depends on your definition of profitable or not, you know, but like for me in my situation in my home life, like I've been able to help supplement with groceries and paying bills and, you know, different things like that. So, I mean, yeah, I am turning a profit now, but my business isn't debt free, which I don't know if anybody's business ever fully is, you know, like, especially when you have like 0% financing like I do, which I know they don't offer anymore, but like I have 0% financing on my machine. So even though I'm in debt on my machine, and I absolutely hate being in debt, I still have, you know, capital in my business because of how I price my work and the markups and everything. So, I mean, I got off Etsy and I started this actual custom apparel business in, oh gosh, what, 2022? And I mean, I very, very quickly started making a lot more money than I ever did on Etsy. And then, you know, I got this machine and that made a big difference. So, I mean, I think very quickly I was able to actually begin turning a profit, even though, you know, right now very little goes back into my business. I don't know how to answer this question. There's so many different factors to it. I'm able to help support my family, and I'm able to invest back into my business. So I guess, I don't know, a little over a year, and that just takes dedication. It takes pricing accordingly. It takes payment up front, and not having to hound people to pay their balance. It takes quality work, good customer service, you know, things like that. And then I think you can see yourself turn a profit very quickly. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I really answered that correctly, but I mean, I guess since I'm able to help my family and also invest back into my business, I would consider myself profitable now. And I've, you know, only been doing the custom apparel side for a little over 2 years now. So, it's getting hot in here. I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. Okay, next question. What needle do you use for hats? I use a 65/9 needle for just about everything. I actually had somebody on Facebook flat out laugh at me for saying that I use 65/9s on a Racoma machine, because they said that, oh, I've been doing this for several years now, 5 years or whatever it was, and I've had nothing but needle breaks, especially with 65/9. I have to use 80/12. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not doing anything special. I use 65/9 hats. I got that advice from Joe at Heart and Hustle Printing like 2 years ago, and it was like the best piece of advice I ever did. I do Richardson's and Flex Fits all the time. I don't steam them. I don't get them wet. I don't do anything special. I just put in a brand new 65/9 needle about every 6 or 7 hats, and I don't have any problems. So either contact support to see if maybe like your timing's off or something like that, but I use 65-9 needles on just about everything. I will switch to a 75-11 needle if I'm doing something really thick like a Carhartt jacket or something like that, but it's not often that I switch out of my 65-9 needles. Those are set on every single needle on my machine. I swear by them. So I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I use. What is your favorite thing that you have made? That's a great question, because I like everything that I make, and you know, I think that's what happens when you put out a quality product every time. Like, you're super proud of it. And you know, I've done some really cool jackets. I've done some really cool, that painter's jumpsuit, I'll link the video down below, was really fun. I think that's probably my favorite recent thing that we did, was that hot air balloon jumpsuit. It was really cool. I would say that if you haven't seen that, go check out the video. I'll link it down below. Okay, last question. Let's wrap it up with best piece of business advice. That might have to be like a whole video itself, because it would be really hard for me to pick just like one piece of business advice. But I guess I would say, like, have a plan. You know, how am I going to brand my business? How am I going to advertise my business? What am I going to sell? What's going to be my thing? How am I going to get customers? How am I going to do this? You know, so I would just say have a plan, and like an actual business plan, because I know when I first started on Etsy, I was kind of just like copying everybody else. I was, you know, just the trendy thing, right? You know, well, this is what's selling, so I'm going to do this. But as we all know, trends fade, trends die, trends go out of style, and then you're stuck with like all this inventory and nothing to do with it. So I would say have a plan. I would personally say don't follow the trends. So just have a solid business plan in place. You know, ideally before you even get your machine, before you even start your business, have at least a general plan. You know, go back to the who, what, when, where, and why that we all learned about as kids. You know, who am I going to market to? What am I going to sell? When am I going to start? You don't have to start your business right away. You can have a future deadline of, okay, I'm going to have all of this in place, and by this time, by this date in the future, I'm going to launch my business. You know, you could do it that way. Where am I going to advertise? Where am I going to have my business? Am I going to be online only? Am I going to have a brick and mortar? Am I going to be a contract shop? Am I going to, you know, you have to answer these questions. And then the why. Why are you doing this? What is your motivation? What are you, you know, why are you in business? You know, I guess what is your why is one of the most important things. You know, are you in it just to make money, which is perfectly fine. A lot of us are. You know, do you want to serve your local community like me? That's a big reason why when I came back from Deco Summit, you know, I changed from Etsy to being business to business, because I wanted to serve my local community. I want to make apparel for the local community that I have grown up in, you know, and my family has grown up in for 3 generations. That was one of my big whys for changing my business. So what is your why? And, you know, and then the how am I going to do this? How am I going to get customers? How am I going to become a brick and mortar? How am I going to scale my business? How am I going to advertise? Those are all things that you need to know that go under the umbrella of have a plan. And there's so many YouTube videos out there about building a business plan. You know, maybe I'll do some here in the future if that's something you guys are interested in. But yeah, have a plan, I would say, would be my best piece of business advice. Don't just go into it blindly. Don't buy a machine thinking the machine's going to do all of the work for you, because it's not. And yeah, so I would just say have a plan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below and say hi, or ask any other questions you may have. You know, if I obviously get a whole lot more questions, then I will do another Q&A video. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get to 10,000 subscribers quickly so that we can do those fun giveaways. I'm so excited to share with you guys the businesses that have offered to donate things for my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Really excited about it. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and I will see you in my next video.